give it a try. You have everything you need for a professional or standard tasting. This white background here to check the color properly. You will see that actually the wine has a very pale green color, very shiny, which means that the wine was not kept in oak barrels. Actually, this wine was made entirely in stainless steel tanks, and it's brand new. And that is why you have this ring that is very shiny and clean. The wine was completely filtered, etc., so you will not find any particular particles there floating, and that's all.
2010.
Yes, 12. And so then,
wonderful aroma.
As you see, it's very fruity.
Wonderful pineapple coming through.
Yes.
Tropics coming through. Little kiwi even, you know.
I think we're pretty much into the kiwi grapefruit spectrum. Citrus fruits like grapefruit, acidic fruits, and kiwi, which is also quite acidic, and bittersweet as well.
That's fabulous.
How much is this one?
That one is 6,500 Chilean pesos.
Now I want you especially to remind us about how you taste the wine, please.
Well, the idea is that you can move your wine on your mouth fully, so you can stimulate every place in your mouth where you can feel something. So you have to take just a little bit of the wine, just a small portion. It's very important to inhale. Take some air in while the wine is inside your mouth, so you can basically get the aromas, get them more alive and wake them up, mainly thanks to this basically combination with air and the temperature in your mouth also. Then you can spit it or drink it as you wish. It's almost better to drink it, of course, because then you can have a better aftertaste. But if you have a tasting like these 7 wines, normally the last wine will be the best one. You will not know much.
Save it for the last.
Yes, you will not know much better when you're tasting it at last. You know. So
it has quite a strong aftertaste, doesn't it?
Yes, it's actually medium aftertaste.
It's medium.
Remains and.
It's just me. Before you used to tell me about how it hits different places on your tongue. See, I remembered very well.
Well.
And this one hits the middle section for me. So.
The middle section of the tongue is giving you the minerality and the salty flavors. In wines, normally you will not feel salty flavors, but minerality you will do. And this wine tends to have this impression of a little bit sparkling thing that you can feel.
Yeah, fizzy.
Yes, and that I think comes mainly from the minerality of it. And that is 100% due to the soil where the vines are planted. The roots are able to pick minerals from the soil, especially rocky areas. Closer to the coast you find those type of soils. And at the end what you will get is this mineral impression, which is aiding basically the freshness of the wine at the end, which is what we want to accomplish with every Sauvignon Blanc. Fresh flavor.
It's a little bitter, isn't it?
The aftertaste, I think, is pretty close to grapefruit juice or something like that.
Yeah, it's quite bitter.
Yes.
Is that unusually bitter? Because that's quite a strong bitter.
No, for us it's actually exactly what we wanted.
Really?
Very acidic, with this bitter aftertaste, but with almost
citrus
no sweetness at all anywhere. It should be a very dry wine, acidic as well. Yes.
See, I've always associated grapefruit with the Chardonnay, so that's...
I think if you don't age the Chardonnay in oak barrels, maybe you can get some grapefruits.
Right.
But in general, what you can get from Chardonnays could be peaches,
Peaches, yes.
maybe pineapple. But grapefruit, I think, is almost destroyed by the oak aging process, which is giving to the Chardonnay mainly this tendency towards honey and butterscotch, you know.
It's very nice.
It's nice, huh? Fresh summer wine, you know.
It's great.
If you drink it cold, as it is right now, it's perfect.
It's great.
Which is the idea. Very good.
No, it's great.
You have water and you have also crackers there for cleaning your palate, which is something very important, especially because now we're passing to the red ones and they are completely different than the whites. You have the first red over here is a Carmenere from the Secreto line, following the white wine. In this case, you do have the 15% of secrets added. So this one is 85% Carmenere and the 15% blending. This part that we blend is mainly there in order to increase fruitiness and freshness, because the Secreto line is a fresh, fruity line. We try to accomplish fruity aspects on each variety that actually each wine should represent very well the identity of the variety from where we got the grapes, which is something that you will not get if you use too much oak, for example. So in this case, normally the wines are going to oak barrels, 50 or 55% only. The rest is kept in stainless steel tanks.
Oh.
And only for a certain period of time, which could be between 5 and 7 months, maybe 8, but normally between 5 and 7. After this process is over, the winemaker will blend the portion that went to the barrels with the portion that was kept in stainless steel tanks, and he will decide the proper blending there. Again, if you taste, for example, a Carmenere unoaked and a Carmenere with some oak there, you will find actually a very noticeable difference. And when you blend, you have the possibility of choosing what you want on your wine. And then the winemaker will add this other 15%, which could be other red varieties in order to increase the fruitiness.
Is this French oak and American oak? Or?
Mainly French. According to the winemaker, the wine that actually uses some American oak is the Syrah. Right. The Carmenere, I think, is pretty much French oak, which is shared in between first, second, third usage barrels.
Alright, they're not first, because that's, you say that's the icon.
Yes, well, the icon wine will use mainly new, but even that one could use a little bit of used barrels as well. For us as a winery, the most important thing is to keep the fruitiness in each wine. So we normally try to be very wise when we use the barrels, and we use them 4 or 5 times. So
Which year is this one?
2011. This is brand new, last vintage again.
Tell me about the growing year. Was 2011 difficult?
Less difficult than 2010, I can tell you that. It was a good year actually. It was dry. Yes, it was dry. We didn't have much rain. I think we had the normal amount of rain we can have every year, which is around 500 or 600 millimeters. And we got the grapes more or less at the date that the viticulture predicted pretty accurately. Carmenere is the last variety in being picked. Yeah. More or less May is the month, which is a rather difficult month because we are there in autumn, so we could have rain, frost, etc. You could lose grapes, you could harm the vine, for example, but actually we didn't have any problems at all. So we could get these grapes more or less in the first parts of May that year. Well matured, with the spiciness of Carmenere, the natural spiciness already ripened, which was the main idea. And well, this is the result. These grapes are coming from other estates that we have, 30 kilometers from here. The winery owns 2 other estates. There we have some Carmenere planted, and we also buy Carmenere from other producers.